In this video, let's add the claws to the creature. At this stage we have all the important bigger shapes of the creature, however we are missing some smaller shapes like the claws and also the teeth and of course the fur as well. However, since we are sculpting the creature currently with the mouth closed, the teeth and the tongue we will add later after the retopology stage. Same applies for the fur, however the claws are pretty obvious and these we will add now. First of all, let's start with a simple object. It could be whatever you want. Then go to edit mode, everything needs to be selected, press M and then click merge at center so that we have one vertex. Now let's switch over to object mode and move this a bit to the side. Don't do this in edit mode because then we are shifting the origin away from this one vertex. Let's go back to edit mode. Let's have a look from the side, numpad 3, and press E and Z to extrude it along the Z axis. Then let's go to the modifiers, add a subsurf modifier with 2 subdivisions, then the skin modifier, then again a subsurf modifier, and then as last modifier the mirror modifier with the mirror object added over here. Then let's press Alt Z to enable X-ray, select everything with A and then press Ctrl A to scale the skin modifier down. So in order to better understand what size this should be, let's go up here, enable face snapping and enable align rotation to target and project individual elements. Now I leave this disabled. Let's disable X-ray here. Now I can move this around and whenever I press Ctrl and hold, this object will snap to the surface. Very important, it will use the origin of this object, which is down here, and it will align the objects along the Z-axis. So make sure that your element is rotated correctly. If not, you can rotate your object so that this points up. Press Ctrl A and then apply the rotation and then the Z-axis will point up. So let's press G, Ctrl and move it somewhere here. And since we have the mirror modifier, the same thing happens on the other side as well. First of all, let's go in here and maybe extrude this side here a bit to the inside. Maybe scale it down with Ctrl A a little bit. Then in general, it's too big and too thick. Let's make it thinner. Let's select this vertex here, press double G and slide this over here. Make it a bit smaller. Then I would take care that we are rotating this. Maybe that one axis is pointing upwards, maybe the Y axis here. I think this will make the whole editing process a bit easier. Then let's go back to edit mode and press E to extrude this one more time and scale it. And this with double G we can move a bit closer here. So I moved it to the inside so that these both objects will stick into each other so that the claws are not floating here. So let's disable X-ray. Let's press period on the numpad to center the selection. And now all we need to do is to duplicate this and place it on the hands here. And of course you can hold down Control. Of course, this is not how this should look like, but we can at least place it here on the surface and then rotate this afterwards. And something we can't really see over here, I also want to add a thumb. Let's hit Shift D once again and put it somewhere here. I'm not sure if this here should be the thumb and then we only have 3 fingers because we also have just 3 toes here or 3 claws at the foot. However, I think I will add 4 main claws and 1 on the side as in the real world. So from the kind of top view, press R rotation, Y for the Y axis and then rotate this. And I like to rotate this a bit to the inside, which for me looks a bit more realistic. And of course we can even move it to the front a bit because we will adjust the mesh of the hand accordingly. And we can also scale some of these a bit smaller. And this thumb I scale along the Z axis a bit, make it smaller, and maybe also move it a bit to the outside. So I put it in the position where I want to have it. And then later on, I will adjust the mesh of the hand. Also, let's move it up here a bit. And from the front, also rotate everything a bit to the inside. And if we have this slightly curved shape here of the position, then this will reflect more the natural hand pose. When all are in place, let's select all of them, press Ctrl A and apply the scale. You can see that the small claw here on the side scaled up a bit. So let's go to edit mode, select everything and press Ctrl A to scale it down again. And let's press D to switch over to this claw and also scale it down a bit. Now select all of them and duplicate them. Put it somewhere here and then select all of these once again. And as last one, the lower arm here, press Ctrl P and click on Set Parent to Object, meaning that if we switch over to the other keyframe, they are moving along with the lower arm. So now let's place the claws down here. Let's select everything, have a look from the top view. Then let's press numpad Control 7 to view it from below. Then we can roughly place it somewhere here. Maybe make them a bit bigger. And we also want to have this claw here on the side, which should be relatively small. Hold down Control to place it somewhere here. Scale this along the Z-axis a bit. Apply the scale. Maybe move this up a bit. And let's rotate this. This should be pretty tiny, and later on it's probably covered in fur. Let's see. So these are too high still. Press G. And since we have the transform orientation set to local, let's press Z twice to use the global. Then we can move it along the global Z axis. So now I think this already looks pretty good. Let's make sure that with numpad 1 that the claws somewhere end here on the floor plane. So let's move these up here a bit. Let's have a look from the top. Again, we can adjust the foot later on. And yeah, I think this looks good to me. You can see that here, both for the fingers and the toes are pretty much the same size. And as mentioned, I want to have 4 here instead of 3. But of course you can go with 3 if you like. And I feel that we could maybe select the 4 here and rotate them a bit to match the curvy shape here of the hand. Yeah, I think that looks good with the claws. And of course down here, make sure to select all of them. And as last one, the foot. Press Ctrl P and click on Set Parent to Object. And now if I press the right arrow, you can see they will stick to the arms and to the foot. And this looks pretty nice, I think. And good, that's it for this video. And in the next video, let's adjust the arms and the legs. And of course, don't forget to save.